People are saying Jeff. We'll do Jeff. The Legend of Jeff. Oh, it was not Dallas. It says Dallas.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? Let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff. Can you read with me? Just read in your head, okay? Before we ask you any questions, you must understand what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you? Does that make sense? Do you understand your rights?
Hello?
Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? You understand? Do you understand what I read you? Do you comprehend what I read you? Jeff, I'm just here to talk to you and figure out what happened and move you on out of here at least some of it. So do you understand the rights I read to you?
He has the right to remain silent. He understands that.
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
This is Jeff. Jeff is a heroin addict and has been for the last 14 years. He is 6'5", weighs 153 pounds, and has now found himself in the unfortunate circumstance of being charged with armed robbery. This is in the state of Georgia, so if found guilty, they will render him the minimum term of 10 years without parole, up to the maximum term of life in prison. Jeff has been through the system multiple times over, and he will know that if indeed found guilty, his sentence will be considerably longer than the minimum 10 years due to his previous convictions.
Jeff, do you understand your rights? Yes or no? I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know, do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you motherfuckers.
Okay, fair enough.
You wanted a Coke?
Yeah.
You gonna be able to pop it open or you need me to?
Jeff has become somewhat of a cult figure in the domain of interrogation footage. His recognition seems to have grown through his own popularity, as opposed to the notoriety of his crimes, like most others. Conveying the exact reasoning behind this can be tricky, as the interest in this character will no doubt vary by the individual. Yet we've found the most collective reason can be explained through a single pop culture reference: the anti-hero. While the concept is timeless, the actual term was created through the realm of modern cinema. There's a diverse number of characters passing through the decades that fit the criteria. Yet perhaps the most textbook example could be the protagonist from the 2003 feature Bad Santa, a middle-aged man simply known as Willie. This is a character that lies, cheats, steals, swears at children, drinks an inconceivable amount of alcohol, and is generally extremely unpleasant to every single person he comes across.
Look who's here, Jimmy. It's Santa.
Oh, fucking great.
Let's tell him what you want for Christmas.
I'm on my fucking lunch break, okay?
On
my
paper,
God,
this is an
imagine.
extremely unlikable individual, yet for some reason, we root for him while following his story. Which begs the question, why? Anti-heroes are flawed, as are we. Their moral complexity mirrors our own, and just like us, they are learning and growing as they move along the path of life. Their mistakes make us think of our mistakes, and perhaps the reason we root for their redemption is the reflection of ourselves rooting for our own. So you might be curious about the contrast between the anti-hero and the villain. One we embrace and relate to, while the other we despise and detach from. Both are driven by selfish motivations, yet our emotional response differs between them. The reason for this, while not necessarily obvious, is a relatively simple formula. The anti-hero must have a glimmer of humanity alongside a noticeable vulnerability. This is what allows the viewer to truly connect with the character. It allows us to forgive them when they are unethical, but admire them when they are noble. It allows them to be angry, cowardly, and greedy, but also cheerful, brave, and empathetic.
Who the fuck is Thurman? Is that you? Is your name Thurman?
Yeah.
Thurman Merman?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Unlike the clean-cut, one-dimensional hero of mainstream culture, an anti-hero is not only more realistic, but far more likely to resonate with the viewer. They resemble ourselves, and remind us not only of the ambiguous morality of existence, but also the possibility of redemptive change. With relation to Jeff, while many of us can't relate to the feeling of being addicted to heroin for well over a decade, we can certainly understand the feeling of sadness. While we may not be able to put ourselves directly in the shoes of an addict, we can somewhat relate to the adversity that comes with it, not to mention the incredible magnitude of the situation he is going through in this video. How he responds to this very moment is quite literally the precursor to his entire future. He is at a crossroad moment in life, where on one side is the possibility of hope, and on the other side is the outright guarantee of despair. The long-term path he goes down will be the consequences of the short-term choices he makes, all of which have to be judged and decided on while going through the early stages of heroin withdrawal.
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
You get me that methadone?
I don't have any. Do you have a medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What's
What do
that
you need
behind you,
methadone
my
for?
landlord?
Cause I'm a fucking junkie, and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Where do you usually get your methadone from?
I don't get it. I get heroin.
Damn.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy.
Sometimes the manner in which words are spoken can convey far more than the actual words themselves. The admixture of pain, regret, and acceptance in his voice is not only palpable, but harrowing. It brings us back to the essential components of the anti-hero. He has the singular desire to accomplish his goal, to which the end justifies all means. Yet this desire stems from the scars of vulnerability, and there are few vulnerabilities more crippling than the relentless burden of addiction.
What are you trying to talk to me about here?
Talk to you about what happened last night. Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances, or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in a shitty, wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I
not
don't have
keep
nothing.
up
I
the
don't talk
act.
to the police, man.
I think it's in your best interest to.
How?
Man.
I don't talk
You're
to the
sitting
police.
here. Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how
I know
it
you
works.
have. I know you have.
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or you're
No,
trying
I'm not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not gonna get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a
'Cause-
confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I
And
didn't
I'm
do
not
nothing.
trying to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside, there are cops everywhere, and they spotlight me. They say, "Come here." I say, "What's up?" They search me. They ain't find
Hang on.
nothing. What's
Where
up?
Let me
are his
read this.
toes?
No,
Yes.
because I'm not gonna
So
sign it.
those-
You don't
oh,
have to
there's.
sign it. So let me read it for you. Okay?
I'm not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it. Let me read it.
You already read it to me earlier.
I know we did, but I'm going to read it to you again.
Thanks for the coat.
You're welcome. Before we ask any questions, you must understand what your rights are.
And here we have our
Jeff
glimmer
has
of
no
humanity.
toes.
It may seem like a non-essential moment, yet sometimes the smaller things can reveal the most. Jeff extends his gratitude in recognition of the small favor the detective has done for him. There is no return benefit for Jeff giving thanks to his adversary, meaning there is an element of selflessness and grace in the act. There may be considerable emphasis on the glimmer of humanity here, but all we need is a glimmer to know that it's at least in there.
You have the right to remain silent. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand the rights I've explained to you?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your
Yes.
side of the story.
Thanks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm a lawyer.
All right. This is
I
what I
told
don't
you this
understand.
one. I told you
I know,
this
but
one,
this
yeah.
is what I don't understand,
What?
Jeff. You were sitting there talking. just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, and then all of a sudden I read that to you, and you screw it, I ain't talking to you. I want a lawyer. I don't understand that. What changed?
Because I told you what. I already told you what happened.
You didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you asked for an attorney.
Lawyer.
So okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right now, you're still on a hold for a robbery.
I know. I don't know why I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing. And obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke, put me back in the cell.
Why do you keep saying CS?
What's that?
Just my fault. All right. I know we did this twice, but I got to do it again every time, okay? Before I ask you any questions,
Sounds
I got to
like
read
he
your
does
rights.
not.
You understand that? Okay. Go ahead and sign there. Let me take your gift off.
Maybe
Look,
he'll
I'm not
know.
signing nothing. I don't want
Okay, you don't have to sign anything. You understand your rights, though, right?
Yeah.
That's all I need is a verbal yes.
Maybe
Yeah.
Ice just woke up or something.
When's this coke gonna be here? Or is that just a fairy tale?
It's coming. He's getting there right now. He'll be here in about 2 minutes. He has to walk to the soda machine. It tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I
Harassing
didn't
him
do
is
it.
still no lawyer.
Okay,
I was
give
thinking
me
that
your side of the
too.
story.
Man asked for a lawyer. You gotta get out
You
of
gotta,
there.
I mean, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the physical
Well, I don't need
evidence.
to, why should I tell you that? I mean,
What?
you haven't been helpful to me
He's
at all.
under
I
arrest.
don't, because I don't believe that you got any evidence.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name them.
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, and I give me a little something. All right? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
The detective downplayed the magnitude of the question to a considerable degree. He stated that it was a little something, when in reality, establishing a timeline alongside a destination can be a crucial and sometimes decisive piece of evidence. If the suspect locks himself into a specific place at a specific time, it can be used to refute a multitude of amendments he might come up with at a later stage. A single piece of admission such as this essentially has a butterfly effect on a suspect's leverage in a case, and although seemingly insignificant, this was a crucial moment during the interrogation. The suspect at this point in time has given nothing away, and this was the detective's attempt at turning the table.
Don't
You
talk
give me a
to
little bit, I give
cops.
you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, and I give me a little something. All right? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
One time a cop pulled me over, said, "Did you know you were speeding?" I said, "Yes, I did," and then he gave me a ticket.
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell you.
I didn't know what to do. It was my first time getting pulled over. He was like, "Do you know that you were speeding?"
There's
And
no
I was like,
way.
"Mm-hmm."
I didn't do it. There's no way.
I know.
How drunk were you? Were you drunk?
No, I was pretty sober.
So you're in your right mind. You remember everything about the night, right? So
Thank
you
you.
couldn't have done something not remembered. You couldn't have gone and robbed the place and not remembered.
Fuck, no.
Okay, so you would remember if you robbed the place. You asked me to bring you up here. I was.
I've done
talking
that
to you. If you
3
want,
times
why
on
don't
my
we just
4
talk about
tickets
the gun.
total.
Let's start there.
Well,
Okay.
I don't fucking have a gun or own a gun.
Okay. I don't think you do. I know you don't own one. Okay. But I need to know where that gun came from.
I don't have. What the fuck are you talking about?
The gun you were sitting on.
I was sitting on.
Body language analysis can never be given full credibility, yet this would be the most telling moment if one were to use it. The subject
No,
of
I
the
got
gun
3
used in the
tickets, 2
armed
times on
robbery
3
has been
tickets.
brought up in the discussion, and when inquired over the gun he was sitting on, the suspect brings forward his posture, maintains eye contact, and responds to the question in a forceful manner. It displays both confidence and conviction in the declamation. One could assume the suspect genuinely has no idea what the detective was referring to in this moment. However, in the next moment, the detective will clarify with the words, "the gun over at Aaron's house," at which point the suspect will reset his posture, break eye contact, and lower the tonality and emphasis in his dialogue.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Over at Aaron's house.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because Aaron says it wasn't his.
Yeah, you'd think, go.
Compared to the gun he was sitting on, it would appear the suspect knows exactly what the
indicted?
gun over at
Is that the
Aaron's
word for
house
it?
was referring
Easy,
to.
Rod.
Yet
Thank you for
whether
the
it be for the
hose.
purpose of not
Hello.
incriminating himself, or for the purpose of not incriminating his friend, the suspect does the smartest thing and refuses to continue the conversation.
Like I said, you give me a little, I'll give you a little. Alright, I got a lot more I can tell you about the whole thing. But you gotta help me out too. So I'm willing to go to the prosecutor, I'm willing to go to the parole officer and say, this guy's a good guy, he helped me out. He didn't do anything. I know you don't want to go back to jail, right? Back to prison.
Well, fuck. It looks like I am if
I would
you're
do
going to
so
charge
bad
me
in
with
prison.
some bogus shit. You guys don't, I mean, what do you got really? That
I
I was at a buddy's house and I happened to come outside because you guys were fucking swarming the area and they
Which
fucking...
door did you come out of?
I came out of the
I would
front
trust
door.
everyone
You know what?
and they
I'm
would
not
take
saying.
all my shit.
I'm done, man. Fuck this. The only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Okay. You're not good enough.
Oh, no. I can't finish it?
You can finish it. Make it quick. I got things to do.
Butterfinger, you promised.
I didn't promise you that. I said we'd see what happens. Alright? Like I said, you haven't helped me out at all. Why should I help you out? I got you a soda. That's
Give
good.
him a Butterfinger!
Jeff was released from custody just under 12 hours later, and that takes us to the final and perhaps the most important component of an anti-hero, the conclusion, which unfortunately in this particular case is unknown. The final outcome of this story will vary depending on the source, some with a happy ending, others a cautionary tale. One legend has it that Jeff got clean soon after his release, and now works in the corporate marketing team for Coca-Cola, while another states that he was picked up the day after for the same charge, and is now facing down a 15-year sentence in Georgia State Prison. If we go by the Hollywood formula, an anti-hero's actions throughout the course of their life are so drastic and single-minded that they only ever lead to salvation or destruction, and their final decision is always dictated by what they have learned, and how they have changed throughout the course of the story. The paradox here is that we don't even need the theme of imprisonment to mold the outcome of this particular story, as the theme of addiction is more than enough. Whether he goes to prison or not, Jeff will either manage to get clean and rebuild his life, or he won't. He is headed for salvation or destruction no matter what, and that single concept can perhaps define Jeff as an anti-hero. His outcome is a mystery, but either way it goes, it most certainly conforms to the anti-hero's ending.
Find him. Interesting.
Santa!
Yeah.
You're bringing my present early?
No.
But I never told you what I wanted.
I said
It's
I
Jeff
didn't bring it,
Bezos.
dipshit.
Okay, good. I want a stuffed elephant. A pink one.
Well, wish in one hand, shit in the other one. See which one fills up first.
My grandfather would say something like that. Damn. Oh my god, this is so fucked.
Nintendo was shot by Skell.
Miss